So CBS interviewed Jason Aldean of Try That in the Small Town fame. You gotta see this. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about CBS News interviewing Jason Aldean about his Try That in a Small Town song. Now, you guys, of course, have heard the song by now. If you've not, you got to take a listen. You probably hear a couple of snippets of it here and there. But the song has been criticized by many on the left, of course, because they say it's promoting hatred and violence against people, and it's a racist song. They've said all kind of things about the song. Now, from my point of view, it's not a race-specific thing. It's about unity as Americans. You want to go and tear cities down, tear neighborhoods apart in the big cities, speaking about Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and other organizations like that. Well, you may be able to do that in, let's say, downtown Chicago, maybe Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Maryland. Remember the infamous "we gave them space to destroy"? You may be able to do that there, but try that in a small town. All right, try that in a small town. This is not color specific, but of course, the liberal elites that live in New York City, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Chicago, they're going to see it that way because they cannot really connect with the regular, everyday, small town guy like myself, yourself, and many other Americans. Now, before we go any further, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. If you want to see the video in full without my commentary, link, as always, will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Hour with an exclusive and frank conversation, we should say, with country music star, that's Jason Aldean. So he's been drawing both praise and criticism for his hit song. It's called Try That in a Small Town. Here's a listen.
We'll try that in a small town, see how far you make it down the road.
Now, I know I can't play too much music because it is YouTube and they might try to give me a copyright, and it's probably going to be automatic, not even from Jason himself. So let's skip ahead a little bit here.
Comes out this week. Our Jan Crawford met up with Aldean at the studio.
So as you got an album coming out, let's go back a little bit.
Album is called Highway Desperado. It comes out this week. Our Jan Crawford met up with Aldean at the studio in Nashville where he recorded it. This is his first network news interview about the controversy.
Yeah, but that's the way we get down at a hick town.
It's the sound of modern country music.
She plays to the prayer she prays.
Man, they're killing me with the music. It's like, come on, y'all know I'm trying to do a reaction. You already know what it is, man. Like, let's not get me copyrighted here.
How have you influenced country?
We definitely brought a little bit of a different sound in. It was a little heavier. It had a lot of rock and roll elements to what we were doing.
But success wasn't instant. 25 years ago, when Aldean moved from Georgia to Nashville with tattoos and his Southern rock vibe, the industry said no thanks. Aldean never wavered.
I was writing songs and at one point had lost my writing deal too. So it was tough. I mean, it's like, you know, maxing out credit cards just to buy like formula or diapers or those kind of things. And it finally did take off. It was full steam ahead for me to try and take advantage of it.
I wonder where he's from in Georgia, and imagine being too country for Nashville. And it's like that in Nashville. I've been in Nashville many times. You know, I live in Tennessee. Nashville is probably about 2.5 hours away from me. I drive up there pretty often, and it's kind of like a Los Angeles, but country, if that makes any sense.
Nearly 2 decades later, Aldean's had 28 #1 singles.
I'm chilling on the dirt road.
I had no idea that he was this successful because I don't really follow country music. 28 hit songs.
And sold 20 million albums. But over the summer, Aldean, who doesn't shy away from expressing his views,
Pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool?
found himself in the middle of controversy over his song, Try That in a Small Town.
Jason Aldean's song is racist, and if you can't see that, you're part of the problem.
What he talked about was people who steal, people who carjack, people who burn flags, and you interpret that as he must be speaking about black people.
Exactly. It's like, so that's a only black thing, right? So if I say, hey, you know what? I don't like carjackers, kidnappers, people that tear things down, burn things up. If I say I don't like those people, the thought process from those who say it's racist is you're talking about black folks. Really? Is that who I'm talking about? So who's the racist here, me or you? But let's continue.
Supporters felt the song upheld small-town values in uncertain times,
Around here we take care of our own.
while others heard racism and subtle calls for violence.
What was your reaction when you saw people saying that this had racist undertones and, you know, it was like a call to arms, you know, it was like a call to arms in small towns. It was a threatening kind of video for black people. I mean, people were putting this on, like,
but there was people of all color doing stuff in the video. That's what I don't understand. You know, there was white people in there. There was black people. I mean, this video did not shine light on one specific group and say that's the problem.
Exactly, 100%. And then it's not just people of different colors in the video for the sake of being quote unquote diverse. When you look at who's actually doing a lot of this stuff, it is quote unquote diverse. Black Lives Matter. When you see the membership of Black Lives Matter and those who are out there engaging in riots, you're going to see minority black people. You're going to see majority white people. And then once you go to Antifa, you're going to see majority white, like 95% white. Wherever you go in the country, it'll be the same way for Antifa. So what are we talking about exactly? If anything, you'll see more whites than blacks do this kind of stuff. Speaking about political violence specifically.
So, and anybody that saw that in the video, then you weren't looking hard enough in the video, is all I can tell you.
The song mostly flew under the radar when it was released, but when the music video came out in July, it took off, skyrocketing to #1 across all musical genres in the country.
I love the song. I was excited to cut it and thought it was actually a song that said something for a change, not just a, you know, here's another song for radio.
Did you think, well, this might not go over well with some people, but I'm going to say it?
On the second verse, it says,
Gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up.
that I thought was going to be the biggest issue with the song, was that it said gun, you know, and that,
yeah,
you know,
of course,
tend to get people talking sometimes about that. So, you know, I didn't expect it to get the kind of heat that it got. And I think that was more probably because of the video more so than the actual song.
Part of that heat was because of where the video was filmed, in front of the Murray County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, the site of a 1927 lynching of a black teen.
Nobody bridged that together. Nobody who watched the video knew that. If you are one of these people that wants to go and dig deep and try to find faults and flaws and all the ins and outs and ends of a particular thing, you'll find that. But the average person would not put two and two together that way. They would not do it. So that is not a key point of contention for the video. That's what the media wants to say to make Jason Aldean appear to be some kind of racist. That's all that it is.
For anybody that thinks that we picked that building specifically for that reason, because, you know, there was a lynching there or whatever.
Did you know that?
No. But
most people didn't know that. Nobody really knew that except for the people that want to go and find every little detail about a thing to say, hey, well, this site was where somebody got lynched and you picked that for that reason. And then once you put it out there as a fact, then people don't question it. They don't think any deeper than that. It just take whatever the media says at face value.
Also don't go back 100 years and check on the history of a place before we go shoot it either. It's
exactly.
also the place that I go get my car tags every year. It's my county that I live in.
Would you do it in that courthouse again, knowing what you know now?
Knowing what I know now, probably not. But it's also, you know, I don't think, again, I'm not going to go back 100 years and check on the history of this building. I mean, because honestly, if you're in the South, you could probably go to any small town courthouse. You're going to be hard pressed to find one that hasn't had some sort of, you know, racial issue over the years at some point.
Exactly. So it's like, where are you going to go? If that's if the bar is, well, you can't shoot here because this happened. Well, you could say the same thing about any place. There could be a block right there on your corner where it's just a random regular house that you might live in, or your Meemaw might live in, and then somebody got deleted right there. So I can't shoot right here in front of my grandma's house because something bad happened 200 years ago. It's ridiculous.
I mean, that's just a fact.
Critics also slammed Aldean for the images. Aldean says he didn't choose the specific clips, but the overall look of the video was his idea. Inspired by Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire."
The whole idea behind the video was to show, you know, the lawlessness and the, you know, disrespect for cops and just, you know, trashing cities and burning. It's just, I'm just not cool with that. So it just, I don't know, I feel like the narrative really got switched over and became, you know, more of a racial type thing. And it's like, if that's what you got out of the song and the video, I mean, I almost kind of feel like that's on you, because that wasn't our intention, you know.
Aldean says the song may resonate with him more because news reports of crime and violence feel personal. He was on stage in Las Vegas when a gunman opened fire, killing 60 people at the Route 91.
Wow, he was there at that? That's crazy. That is I had no idea he was there.
Festival.
Vegas was 6 years ago. Like, how have you processed that?
It makes you mad. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like my pregnant wife was there. Our fans were there watching the show. All hell breaks loose, and you're not prepared. You know, it's like, I got a guitar. What am I going to do?
Did you even know what was happening?
No,
Yeah.
not until a few minutes after we were off stage and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you know, I do think it makes you look at things a little different when you go through something like that.
That definitely make you think differently. I mean, why is that not a fact that people say when they're talking about Jason Aldean? It's like, okay, he has this song, he's racist. Maybe a good detail to note would be that he was on stage during the Vegas mass shooting, and maybe that could influence the reason why he's against violence, against people, you know, assaulting random people. Maybe that could be part of the reason why he made a song like that. I don't know.
That brings Aldean to his new album, Highway Desperado, out November 3rd. Try That in a Small Town is one of its tracks.
All 11 albums have been in here.
Every album?
Every single one of them, every
So
song.
you could have gone in any studio.
Yeah, but there's just something about this guy.
He recorded it in the same bare-bones studio he's always recorded in, with the
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, if you've had success over many years, sold millions of albums, a lot of hit songs, hey, keep doing what you're doing.
same band and producer he started out with 20 years ago.
Not ready to hang it up.
Not yet. I got more stuff to say, you know.
And he will continue to stand by what he's already said and try that in a small town.
I would do it over again every time.
Minus the setting.
Minus the setting. Knowing what I know now, obviously, you know, knowing that that was going to be a thing, you know, maybe you look at doing it somewhere else. I know what the intentions were behind the location, the video.
Oh, of course, they gotta keep on harping on that, but it's not really a big deal. It's not a big deal. White lady at CBS is not a big deal. We don't care. I promise we don't, because it's a courthouse. Like I said, any other place in Columbia, Tennessee, Nashville, wherever you are, you could say, oh, this event happened here in 1875. This happened here in 1922, and you can't have this there. It's the same thing that happened to Trump as I close. Let me come back so you can see me clearly. It's the same thing that happened to Trump when he had the rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or he was going to have it some years back. And then they were saying, oh, well, you can't have it here because there was a race riot here. I was like, what? I'm just having a rally. What's it got to do with the race riot? Why are you connecting me to the race riot? It was weird. It was totally weird. And, oh, nah. Then they said it was on Juneteenth. So you can't have it on Juneteenth, and it was a race riot here. Not even connected, but then he relented, and then, of course, that's what brought Juneteenth to the forefront. And all these pro-blackity-black blacks who never heard of Juneteenth now all of a sudden have heard of it. But different story. I digress. I don't want to get triggered. As I close, I want to say this. I like the song, Try That in a Small Town. It's not race-specific. Many of us of all colors all over the country come from small towns, small cities, and we don't appreciate the BLM and the Antifa and the political violence and the woke nonsense coming to our small town. We don't appreciate that. I was watching this podcast clip, and it was a Mexican guy talking about Bakersfield, California, and how they had Antifa and BLM riots in Los Angeles, and they were trying to come to Bakersfield with that, but the black population out there stopped them from coming. Now, you know, I'm not going to come here and do that kind of stuff. All right. Try that in a small town or a small city. It's not going to happen. You could do that over there in Los Angeles, but you can't do that here. It's not a color, race, religion, gender, none of that. It's about, we don't appreciate that type of behavior happening here in our particular location. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the Jason Aldean interview and the song, to Try That in a Small Town? Do you like the song? Not like the song? Do you resonate with the lyrics? How do you feel about the interview? Was it fair, unfair? How do you feel about the setting criticism? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I appreciate the song. I had no idea about Jason Aldean before this because I'm not really into country, so I just didn't know. I was ignorant to the fact, but shout out to him. Long career, very successful. And it's hard to have a successful career in anything like this in the entertainment industry if you don't have any kind of talent. So obviously, talented person, people like him. And that song right there made me a fan, 100%. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.